As you know, my name is Kyneton the Genius, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to build a complete quiz in JavaScript. So if you look at my screen, you can see that we have a quiz right here. You can actually select, and this is wrong. You go next, you select is correct, and you go next. And this one, I built it in JavaScript, and it's very easy. I'm going to explain how to do it step by step in this lesson. We also have another one. This is a React quiz, and you can actually enter your username, for instance, Kyneton, and you can actually start the game. Now we have some questions in the question manager because this quiz actually stores some data in the browser or in the client-side database. So if I start quiz, you can have a number of questions here. It tells you, you can check the answer is wrong, go next, and you can actually continue in this way. I can end quiz, and you can see that I only scored 1. Okay, so we also have another one. This is a React app as well. You can go next and so on. So I figure out that it's better for you to learn a bit of JavaScript, then we now go into React. So let me teach you how to build a quiz application step by step with no steps skipped using JavaScript. And later we are going to enhance this application to store data in the client side, to add some additional features, for instance, how to randomize the questions, how to update questions, and stuff like that. So I recommend you subscribe to my channel. And before I continue, I'd like to say, hope you are staying safe, hope you're at home, because we all want everyone to be safe. So if you are joining me for the first time, hit on the subscribe button. Let's use the time we are staying at home to learn something new. So I'm going to show you how to build the basic quiz. So let me just close up all this. And the basic quiz, I called it quiz.js right here. So if I open it, you can see it displays the quiz, and you can simply start answering the question. So if I answer the first one, I score 1/2, and I answer the second one wrong, you can say I scored 1/2. So let's build this basic quiz, and then we enhance it as we go. And after now, we are now going to build this question, exactly this quiz, using React. So again, remember to subscribe if you've not subscribed, and activate notification. If you have any challenges following, please do let me know. And this is a step-by-step with all the source codes you need. Even the complete application is also there. You can also download it. The link is right here, and you can actually follow along. So let's get started from the scratch. The only thing you need for this tutorial is you need an editor. Me, I'm using the VS Code, but if you have Notepad++, you have Sublime Text, or you have Storm, WebStorm, is okay. But for me, I'm using the VS Code. So let's go ahead to get started. So the first thing I would like to do, inside this JavaScript tutorial folder, I'm simply going to create a new folder that is going to hold our application. So I'm going to call it quiz demo. That's the name I'm going to call it. Okay, quiz demo. And inside here now, I'm going to go to VS Code, and I'm going to simply save file, open new workspace, and open new workspace. I'm simply going to look for the JavaScript where I have the JavaScript folder, and open it. So JavaScript tutorial, it's going to be quiz demo. Okay, so let's open this workspace. Open. Add this folder to workspace. All right, so you can see JavaScript tutorials I've opened right here. And we have the quiz demo, the one we just created right now. Let's now follow the step-by-step in my website. So let's not make any mistake about it. Some things I'll assume you know. You actually know what HTML is. You know what CSS is. You also know what JS is, a JavaScript file. So these are the 3 ingredients that is going to make up our application. So at this point, I'm going to the HTML file is quite small. So the first thing we want to do, we are going to create a HTML page, a CSS file, and also a JavaScript file. So let me go to quiz demo. I'm going to right click and say new file. I'm going to call it index.html. Okay. So after creating it, what you can do is simply on the page type in HTML and go to HTML5 and press enter so that it generates the initial markup code for you. I'm going to simply change the title to quiz application. All right, so this is a quiz application. So for now, let's just take a look at what we are trying to achieve. It's going to be this. So this is what we are trying to achieve. Something that looks like this. Very easy. Okay. So let me just open and show you the ingredients. Here we have the quiz wrapper. Is this white container here. We have the question box. We have the options. We have the next. We have the score. So a basic application. So you can see I'm going to go back to the page and I'm going to copy the or before I continue, let me just create the script file as well. So I'm going to create scripts.js, okay, and we're also going to create styles.css. So I'm going to come here and say styles.css, okay. So these are the three files that you need for this application. So if I go to my index page, I don't know if I can drag this style onto this place for it to add, so it doesn't work that way. So here I'm going to simply say link rel is equal to style sheets and href is equal to styles.css self closing tag here at this point. So we've added the style sheet to the HTML page. Now we're also going to add the script tag as well. So the script tag, so let's see what we have here. This is a very simple page that will display a single question. So this is the only page we have. So we can call it an XPA, a single page application. So let me copy this onto the page. So let me copy this. This is HTML. Copy it and place it in the body section of your HTML page. So basically, we have the first class. Maybe I can just increase the font of this if I can. Let's see. Okay, so I think it's better now. So the first thing you want to check is the very first HTML tag. You have the quiz wrapper. So what I might do is to show you how it works. So we have the quiz wrapper, the white background. That's the quiz wrapper. That's the div tag controlling the quiz wrapper. And we also have the question box. So the question box is this one where you have this green background that contains the question. And we have the options. The options is this part that contains the 4 options. The UL is the container also. You cannot see it at this point. It contains 4 options or 4 li tags. Okay, so these li tags, this Danube, Niger, Congo, and Limpopo, is contained inside the UL tag. Okay, and finally we have class score. So this is the space right here at this end. Lower here we have this the score, and we have the next is this one, this class called next. We have button, and we also have scorecard. Scorecard is this part you see right here. Okay, so take some time to study to make sure you understand how this HTML page corresponds to this. Now we are now going to move to the next part. The next part is the CSS styles. So I've tried to explain this right now. Now you can get the CSS file from this link. It's free. You can get it. I put it right there online for you. So get it and use it if you want. But I recommend you type it out yourself, and then that is how it works. So what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to get the CSS file and copy the content onto my own page. So I'm going to copy everything. Actually, I'm going to say copy everything in this page. So Control C to copy. and I'll go to my styles and do Control V to paste. Okay. So at this point, if you take a look, let me just explain a few of the styles for you. We have the body. The body is controlling, the body style controls everything that displays. The body background is black, as you can see, but we can change it to something else if you want. The margin is 0, meaning that there are no spaces at the extremes. The font family, that is fine. So box sizing, kind of that I cannot really clearly explain, but it tends to restrict the width provided for the wrapper in such a way that it doesn't give spaces at the extreme. I actually can remove this style. So I have the quiz wrapper. I already explained to you what it is. So the quiz wrapper is a white background. The quiz wrapper question. So when we have two styles, quiz wrapper question, it means that there is a div tag under the quiz wrapper div tag, and that div tag is questions. Is question. So if I go back to my HTML page, quiz wrapper question will be the HTML style, the CSS style that is under the quiz wrapper. Okay, so we have the quiz wrapper here, and under it we have question, a div tag. Under it that is why we specify two different classes separated. There is one under one, not one beside the next one. Quiz wrapper option is the option boxes, that is the options that can be selected and so on. So try to take some time to understand exactly how these work. So this is a style. Now what I can do now is to preview the page to see how it looks like. So I'm going to save everything, file, save all, and I'm going to go to the folder and I'm going to open index using Chrome. So I'm going to open it with Google Chrome, and you can see that we have I don't think I opened the right one, so let me go to quiz demo and index. Okay, so this is what we have right now. I actually hate using the Internet Explorer, so I'm going to open with Google Chrome. So this is what we have right now. Is basic. Is all the styles we've created. We just applied it to this page, so it's quite basic. Nothing shows up on there. So now I'm going to spend some time to explain to you the JS files or the JS script that we are going to be using. So let me go back to the page. So the script file, this is where much work actually should be done. So I really need to you need to pay attention to the script. Also watch the video, which is this one right now, okay? And build the script piece by piece. The first, we will get the UI elements by their ID. So I'm going to copy the script and paste it into the script, and then we actually explain and understand exactly what is happening there. So I'm going to go to this link. You can see this link here. So get this file, the file from here. I'm going to click on it, and it opens up, and I'm simply going to copy everything. Control C, and let's go to our quiz application, and I'm going to do Control V. All right, it seems there's something I'm forgetting. I can't remember if I placed the script tag in the HTML page. So basically in the HTML page, under the body, just at the ends, you need to place the script tag right here, because you want the script to execute after all the page elements have actually loaded. So you can say src is equal to script.js. Okay, this is fine. So now the script is applied to this page now, but we are not done yet. Let's go to the script. At this point, I'm going to annotate parts of the script just to make it clear for you what is happening right here. So I'm going to, at this point, maximize. I'm going to take out this so that we have some room. So now the first thing we are doing here, I'm going to kind of add comments, get declare the UI elements. So the UI elements that contain the data, remember this UI element for now, they are empty. you need to declare them, because eventually you are going to be putting data into this UI element. You are going to be assigning some text into this UI element. Okay. So we have the UL. UL is a container for all the options, because at some point we are going to take out all the options and place in the score, the final score of the user. You also have BTN next. Remember, we are getting all of them by their ID. So the ID of the BTN next button is ID. We also have the question box. We have the option 1, option 2, the 4 options, and that is fine. So when we say var app is equal to curly braces open and close, we are actually saying that we are creating an object called app. All right. So this object called app is the main object that will control our application. This app will contain functions and also variables. Okay. So the first variable that this app is going to contain is the questions, or the list of questions, right? So we have a list of questions. For now, I'm going to put these questions as hard-coded questions right here. After now, in the next part, we are going to then think about how to actually write this question into IndexedDB on the client side on our browser. In case you don't know, I would like to just show you what the IndexedDB looks like. So if I go to right click and say inspect, you can see if I go to applications, you can see that we have IndexedDB right here, right? You can see, and under IndexedDB we can have questions, and we have certain questions list right here. Okay, we are going to be doing this in the next part, not in this one, because I want to keep it quite simple right now. So let's get back to our code. So we are saying that the first attribute of this object, the object is our application object is called, we call it app. The first attribute, it has a list of questions. Okay, our app will also have index of 0, indicating the very first the counter that will be counting the particular quiz number that we are right now. We also have the load function. So I'm going to make a space right here. So we have the load function is simply going to take the index and select the question of that index and then load it up onto the UI element. So what we have here is function. We have, if the index is not the last index, is still not the last question in the list, you simply load it up by saying the inner HTML is equal to the contents of whatever. So let's see, we have quizbox.innerHTML equals this.index plus 1 plus dot this.question this.question.index.question. So this is, let me just show you how it works. So we are going to get this.index, which is 0 plus 1. So it's going to be 1, question 1, and we have this.question.index. So we have 1 dots. So we are trying to add index on the questions. So for instance, if I go back to the, sorry, let me just go back to the existing question that we already completed. It should be this one maybe. All right, so let me go to index here. So here we have question 1. So this is the index plus 1, because the index is 0, so we're going to add plus 1. And the next one is the, sorry, this is not. So this is what we are talking about, the question index. This is a question, but before this question, we want to add 1 at that point. So let me see, I think I have another question that contains this. Should be this one maybe, let me check. Okay, so I don't have it right here. Okay, meanwhile, we are going to talk about this a little later. All right, so we have the load function. It loads up the questions and also the options. Here we have 4 options that are arrays, and we have option 1 dot inner HTML is equal to this.question index question this.index dot option 0. So take the option 0, which is this one, option 1, option 2, option 3, and load them up into the option boxes, which are named 1, 2, 3, 4. else, so when the quiz have gotten to the end, else simply display the test quiz completed and display, take out the UL containing all the options, just remove it from the page and then remove the next button as well. We also have the next function. The function next executes when you click on the next button. It's simply going to increase the index and then load up the question again. We also have the function check. The function check is also called when user selects an option. You select an option, is going to get the element that was clicked, the option that was clicked, and is going to split it into an array and extract the last item of that array, which is at index length, index id.length -1. So basically, if I go back to the HTML page, so we are trying to extract this to be 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, each of them corresponding to the answer to the questions, which is I have in my JS files to be index 1, index 0, 1, 2, 3. All right. So for it to work, we are going to let's see where we are at this point. So all right. So we are going to say, okay, if is equal to the answer, yes, we are going to say correct. Okay. And then we are going to apply the class name of correct. The class name of correct simply applies a green style or a green background to the class, like so. Like so is going to apply a green background to the class. I would like to just show you. It should be in quiz. It should be here. Let me see. So if I click, it applies a green background. So this is why we say we apply the style of correct. So if we go back to the style sheet and look at the style of correct, which is this one, which are our options UL li correct, this is what we have, green. All right. So we also have a class of wrong, which has a background color of red. So we have prevent click. Prevent click simply will, after you select an option, prevent click is going to look through all the children of the UL element, all the li element, and prevent click for them. So to prevent click, you simply say style.pointer event is equal to none, then it's not clickable anymore. Allow click, we simply do the reverse of the same by saying pointer event is equal to auto. So this is score, initial score is equal to 0, okay? But when you answer a question and the question is correct, we are going to increase score by 1, all right? And scorecard. Scorecard is the where you display your score at the lower part of the window of the form. So in this case, you are going to say total question. This is question.line over the score. So it's actually the other way around. It's actually score over question. So I'm going to move this one this way and move this one at the other side here. All right. So it's going to be plus right here. So now this is where our app object ends. So the next thing we want to do is window.load. Once the window loads, we call app.load, right? Window.load is equal to app.load. So when the program starts, call app.load and load up the first question. And then this is function button ELE. So this function is called when when an option is clicked. So if I go back to my HTML page, you can see on click is equal to button, and we are passing it the element that actually triggered this event. And finally, when we click on next, we are going to be calling the next function, which actually increments the index and loads up the page, the next question there. So I'm going to save all at this point, and I'm going to test this application. So let's go back here. So I'm going to just refresh. So you can see it loads up. And if I click Danube, 1/2, next. What is the name of the deadly virus? Wuhan V. Next, so I scored only 1/2. I can actually restart Danube. Next, Corona. Okay, so this is not right also. So there is a mix-up. So let's go correct it. So we have the index 0 or 1, 2. So let's see. 0, 1, 2. So Danube. Okay, so actually we have to so 1, 2, 3. So I'm actually making a 1 base index. Okay. So if I save everything, I'm going to go back, refresh. Danube, next, Corona, correct, next. I scored 2/2. So this is basic, it's very simple. So the next thing we are going to do in the next part, we are going to see how we can add something like maybe restart game or replay again, and then we later talk about how to do this by storing the questions in the database. For now, I'd like to recommend add some more questions here, play around, maybe change the color to something else, and see that you understand exactly what is happening right here in this application. I'm going to stop here. I hope you are staying safe. I'm Kindson the Genius. Remember to subscribe to my channel below and also activate notification. If you have any question whatsoever, please let me know in the comment box below and I'm always there for you.